Hey, how's everybody doing once again? I just wanted y'all to see what kind of shirt I'm sporting, or as we say down south, sporting, which is a Tommy Hilfiger shirt to kind of match my hat, which is a champion hat. But I digress. Anyway, on today's video, excuse me as I scratch my nose for a quick minute. Anyway, on today's video, I wanted to talk about how times really have drastically changed due to both social media and technology. And a prime example would be how back in the days when I was a kid, when I was a small kid, I could ask my mom questions, for instance, such as what was fashion like back in the days. And she may say stuff such, or better yet, go right inside of the closet, literally go in one of the bedroom closets and show me literally what was the style back in her younger days like, which in a sense is not that much more different from what people are wearing now. For instance, I noticed that how over the past couple of years, how women have resorted back to being wearing, bell bottoms. And for some of you who may have been younger during the bell bottom area in your teenage years, 20s per se, you know exactly what I'm referring to. Anyway, when how I set it up nowadays, things have drastically things due to social media and web browsers such as Google, where you could be able to quote unquote Google images of fashion back in the days. You don't even much have to younger people, kids now, teenagers and younger kids, even the 20-something-year-olds, don't even much have to ask their parents how was fashion back in the days when their parents were their ages, the ages they are now, because now they can just literally Google an image of what fashion was like, for instance, during the 60s or 70s, without having to ask none of their parents, none of their uncles, aunts, older uncles or aunts who grew up around the same era that their parents did, how was fashion. I mean, even if kids wanted to know how technology was back in the days, way before we ever had social media. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of my nephews who's 18 going on 19 years old about how social media didn't exist back during the 90s, because he told me how he wish he could have grown up or been able to experience the decade of the 90s. So when I told him how no social media existed, he was like, really? I mean, I know it's hard to believe being that age where, compared to, I was an infant. People didn't have the privilege of being able to record an infant being born out of their mother's womb in a hospital, or video record an infant being born, while that infant from the time that the mother was in the process of literally bearing a child, being on a hospital bed, and then conceiving a baby. Nowadays, most people are able to literally film kids being born in hospitals. As a matter of fact, you don't even much have to go to the hospital to even experience the birth of a kid from a family member of loved one. Instead, you could just FaceTime, as we call it now, where you could be able to video chat with someone without having to be in their presence at all prior to being in their presence. You could go that route, or whatever other video chatting software you use. This is just a prime example, or these are some prime examples of how technology and times have drastically changed so much over the past decades. And also, I wanted to mention how nowadays kids, if their parents may happen to cook dinner for them, and unlike back in the days before we had all this technology and all this social media, even way before we had cell phones, smartphones as they will call them now, families will have more family time, I guess you would call it, by being able, or family dinners where the both parents as well as the kids will be able to sit at the table, eat and talk, just being able to, you know, have more time together and maybe discuss whatever problems they may have been facing, and so on and so on. Nowadays, kids are so, younger kids, much younger kids, the 20-something-year-old crowd and younger than that, are so entitled and privileged to the point where if their parents may be in the process of cooking food, they don't even much want to have family dinners at the table with their parents anymore. Instead, they may be in their bedrooms, the kids, and may have the nerve to text the parent to bring the food to their bedrooms for them. And in a sense, it's just making things worse instead of better as far as family dynamics go. And another prime example is, there have been times when I would be in my car at a traffic light, and right next to me while I would be at a traffic light, sitting for the traffic light to change, I may see a parent with the kid in a car, in the same car with each other, and instead of him having a parent to child chat or conversation, they both will pull out their phones only for their attention to be right on their cell phones, whatever they may have been scrolling, looking at on their phones. So I'm going to conclude this video, and I wanted all your feedback on whether you agree with my input on how things have changed drastically due to technology and most of all social media. Last but not least, make sure you give a video a thumbs up by liking the video. Don't feel afraid to comment right down below in the comment section, and also share the video, not only the video but the channel, so my channel could be able to gain way more because I'm sure some of you may have seen how there was a droplet of saliva coming from out of my mouth. I'm so sorry for that. Anyway, last but not least, make sure you share both the video and the channel. Not only that, but subscribe to the channel so my video, this video that I'm producing as we speak, will be able to gain more channel exposure, and not only that, but so my channel could be able to gain that much more exposure and popularity as well, by me not having literally 0 subscribers on this channel. Till next time, take care and have a blessed day.